Hello everyone. Thought maybe I'd do a quick update and sort of tag along on this Vlogmas thing. I'm sitting here knitting a Christmas present hat. Oh, out of super bulky yarn. Woolly's Thick and Quick. The color's called Raisin. I think it's very, let's see if I can get the light right. I think it's very appropriate. It looks just like raisin colored. It's a tweed. I was, it was a request. Can you knit me this hat? And they sent me a picture. So I went with something washable. My hands are cramping right now from knitting with the huge size 11 needles. Sort of modifying it's called the Henley beanie. I couldn't remember if it was Henley beanie or Henley hat. So the request was of a chicken. Can I do a hat with a chicken on it? And of course I can, right? But they wanted a big, bold chicken. The person did. It's my cousin. She wanted a big, bold chicken. So the option was intarsia. I've never done, I've done intarsia flat, but I've never done it in the round. And then I didn't want to knit a hat flat and seam it. And that's what the pattern calls for. But I still didn't want to do it. So basically I'm just straight knitting the hat, and then I'm going to duplicate stitch over using the chart that's listed for it'll be a chicken about this size on the hat for the chicken. Let's see, what am I wearing? I've got a shawl on today. I don't remember what it's called. I'm sure I've talked about it in another video, but I can't remember what it's called right now. So you can look it up and include it below. I like the stripes. I finished it a few years ago and I use it often. I've got it tied and it wrapped around my neck in like a figure eight. It's very long. It's a triangle shawl, but it's real long, so this one end hangs down all the time. And when I'm teaching, because I'm a teacher, when I'm teaching it gets in my way. So I often tie it up. I had a knot in it already, and then now I've tied it to the other end so that it's sort of connected. Hi, got a visitor. This is Medusa. Hi, sweetheart. She's gonna help me knit, I bet. She loves to sit on my lap while I'm knitting. She's not very friendly. If she knew that you were people out there, she would never sit here. She only likes it when there's nobody home. My other project I just finished is this hat for my son. Actually, I'll include, we had a really cute picture earlier. AJ says, can you put the hat on Medusa? I said, sure. So we stuck it on her. I have a cute little picture of her wearing the hat, modeling it for me. So AJ picked out the colors. He wanted a lime green hat. That's what he asked for. He said, please, please, please knit me a lime green hat. So I did. And then he wanted trees. So if you can see, God, I wish the light was better. You can see the tree pattern here. He wanted trees on his hat. He didn't care what else about it. And I decided to do Fair Isle, obviously, because I already talked about the fact that I didn't want to do intarsia anything. You're in the way now. Move. Okay, I'm back. She's getting settled. You can see her little head here. She's got her little foot out. You can't see it, but she's got her little foot out on the tripod, like holding it steady for me. Okay, so we have trees, Fair Isle with trees, and then I called these bushes. I sent a picture to my mom the other night, and she says, are those two moose kissing? And I was like, what are you talking about? There's no moose in the picture. But she meant these little bush sections. I call them bushes because they're at the base of the trees. Anyway, so he definitely wanted lime green, and he wanted teal. And he said, I want lime green with teal trees. And I was like, buddy, that's not going to show up very well. We went to our local yarn shop, and he picked out these two together. And I was like, that's not going to stand out. You're not going to notice it. He says, I don't care. I just want those two colors. I love those two colors. And then he saw this yarn sitting there, this garnet. It's called garnet. The green and so it's lime green. It is called lime green, the color. and the garnet are both shepherd's wool, which is a company from Maine in the United States. And then the teal that he picked is, I don't think it's called teal. It was called Ocean something. Anyway, it's Malabrigo Rios. Okay, they're all worsted weight, but this is Malabrigo. So anyway, he saw the garnet and he says, that would be really pretty in there too. So he wanted me to throw that in there. So I did these little, the little bushes, and then I did the sort of, what do you want to call them, crosses that are in between. That must have been right where I ended the hat. That's the jog. You can see the jog perfectly. The crosses that are in between the trees, I did in the garnet. It made, there were times when I had to hold 3 colors, but it worked out okay. Yeah, I can try it on for you, so you can see what it looks like. Pretty nice. Don't mind the mess in the back. So that's what I've been knitting on lately. Okay, so I have 2 hose. So I'm half finished, well, more than half finished. It should be a 3/4 hoe, right? 3/4 faux. I'm knitting these just plain vanilla socks out of Stranded Dye Works. It's called Gingerbread House. It's a beautiful, beautiful colorway. I'm trying to get it so you can see all the colors. Beautiful colorway. I've finished the first sock, obviously. I was so excited when it finally, I ordered it in October. And because it was such a beautiful color. And I was anxious for it to get here. It just arrived last week. And then I was like, as soon as I literally, so my other hoe is this stripy, scrappy sock, right? So I hurried up and cast this off. Like I was like, I even didn't see how short the cuff is. I was like, I just need it to be done. I need my needles. So then I got that off the needle so that I could use my good Chowgu needles with this lovely, it's a BFL base, so it should be very long wearing. And again, it's called Gingerbread House. It's a Christmas color. I'm hoping to get them done so that I can wear them for Christmas. I think I will. I was just knitting tonight and I'm almost to the heel on the second. So here's the second sock. I'm getting close to being able to put the heel in. And then after that, it just flies because I just zoom up the cuff to the top. I put a little, so because they're vanilla socks on my foot and on my ankle, they get loose in this top area. And I could make them shorter, but I like them to be as long as possible so they're nice and warm. I live in a very cold area. It was snowing outside today. So I like to be as warm as possible. And I wear Ariat boots all the time, so it doesn't matter how tall. I like them taller actually, but it doesn't matter how tall my socks are under those boots in there. So anyway, I make my cuffs equal length usually to the foot, and I wear a 9.5 women's, so it ends up being a fairly long cuff. Anyway, but at that length, they tend to sag if I do vanilla. If I do a rib up here or a pattern, even if I do like a knit purl pattern, sometimes I'll do like a staggered moss stitch or a what's the other one, seed stitch. I'll do moss or seed stitch sometimes on the whole front of my sock. And anytime that I do that or a vanilla, then I need to tighten up the back in order for it to not fall down. So what I do is usually I rib the whole back, but because this whole sock is vanilla and because it's so pretty just as it is, I didn't want to ruin the look of the pattern of the color work and everything in it. I wanted to just let it sing, you know, let it be itself. So all I did was I added 1x1 ribbing right at the heel, which is where my most narrow part is. Are you interested? She's listening intriguingly to my speech. So I did 1x1 rib here just above the heel at that narrowest point of my heel, and then I did 1x1 rib again at the top. So we'll see once I start wearing them. They should stay up pretty good between those two additions. But other than that, it's just a vanilla sock. I started off with the started off with a toe. I always go toe up. I forget what that cast on is called. If this is, one of them is Jenny and one of them is Judy. If this was Judy's amazing cast off, Then this is Jenny's bind on or cast on. So it's the other way around. It might be Judy's cast on and Jenny's amazing bind off. I can never remember, but that's how I always do them. So you cast on literally, and it starts in both directions, and then you just build the toe from there on either side and increase. I did left leaning and right leaning increases here on the toe. Sometimes, did I do it on this one? Yep. So I'll show you the difference. Sometimes I do a knit through the back loop increase on the edges there, because that's easier. Don't touch the camera. Because that's easier than doing the left leaning or right leaning and figuring out, which one needs to go which. But it leaves, I don't know that it's going to show that good. It leaves little holes all along the increase. So I had it turned sideways, so I hoped you could see it, but you can't. It leaves little teeny tiny holes all along the side of your toe on both sides, which doesn't always bother me. But like I said, this yarn, I wanted this yarn and this sock to be perfect as possible. So I did left leaning and right leaning increases so that it doesn't have any hole. There's no holes. Turn it sideways. It's just straight. Beautiful knitting. And then I do the fish lips heel because that's what fits me best. Plus I have it memorized. I don't have to even think. And then like I said, I'm almost halfway on the second sock. I don't know why. I always dread doing the heel. I'm always like, oh, I don't want to do the heel. And then I get to it and it's fine. It takes me like 20 minutes maximum to do a heel. Sometimes I can do it quicker. Not a whole lot quicker, but sometimes I can do it quicker. So why do I hate that when it's 20 minutes of... I think I hate the idea that I might be interrupted, because like if I stop halfway through, then I have to figure out where it was and whether or not I needed to do a short row or, all the things. All right, then this is the other hoe, like I said, that I ripped off the knee. I hurried up and finished it. It's got a real short cuff. Hurried up and finished it and ripped it off the needles. I'm just holding it this way so you can see the colors. So that I could start the other. But now I've bought another. I went on Shop Small Saturday, I went into our local yarn shop, and that's when I bought the yarn for this hat for AJ. And while I was in there, then I grabbed another set of, I use 00, double aught needles. I looked it up to try and find the conversion, and the metric equivalent isn't listed anywhere that I've seen so far. But 0 is 2.0 millimeter. So I'm guessing, because they go in 0.25 increments, I'm guessing this would be a 1.75 millimeter needle. But I can't promise. If anybody knows, can you put in the comments below gladly? So that's my new go-to. I'm a very loose knitter, so that's my go-to for sock. Now, I used to do a 1, and then I dropped down to a 0, and now I'm down to a 00 or double aught, I call it. And I always do a 40-inch because I can do 2 at a time if I want, or I don't have to if I don't want to. My new, like I said, my new favorite technique is 1 at a time, and that's because I don't dread the heel so much, right? It takes more time to do 2 heels, and especially when you're doing a back-to-back, you're like, oh, I finished one, but now I've got to do another one when you've got 2 socks on the needles. Versus if you just have 1 sock on the needle, you can just do your 1 heel and then continue on. You're getting all the lovin's today. Okay, so anyway, while I was at the yarn shop, I got another needle, so I can put the other one of this on another needle if I want to, but I haven't yet. I've been working on this hat that I was sitting here working on this evening. And when I was sitting here working on it, I thought, well, it's Vlogmas. I was watching some Vlogmas from some other, from some other knitting podcasters. So I was watching Vlogmas, and I decided that I might as well do my own little excerpt real quick. And that's it. So I was working on this hat, watching some Vlogmas, and I thought maybe I'll do a little update, catch up with everybody. Hopefully I can start doing this more again, but we'll see. see what happens. Life's been very busy, as everybody knows. Everything's been crazy. I haven't really done any spinning lately, and I dyed some yarn. Maybe I'll get that and bring it over. I dyed some yarn that I'm hoping to do a cabled sweater with. I want to do, my next goal is a cabled sweater. I picked out a pattern and everything. I can talk about that here in a minute. Picked out a pattern and everything, and I'm excited to knit it. It's a non-traditional cable sweater. It's very modern looking is what I want to say about it. And it's a pullover, not a, I pulled up a pullover and a cardigan pattern. Anyway, that's my goal, is to knit a cabled sweater for myself for this upcoming semester. Because I love a sweater. I've still got Zweig on the needles somewhere in the house. It's upstairs somewhere. I haven't touched it in a long time. Over the summer, I made myself work on it. I was like, you've got to get this finished. And I've knit a significant portion of the body. I'd say I have maybe 2 or 3 inches left on the bottom of the body to go. Something about that little, and then all it is 2 little twisted stitches. But something about the counting, like I've got to count how many I am going across, then do the cable, then count and do another, something about it is a put off for me. If I would have just knit the body in stockinette, I probably would have it done by now. I know it's been forever. It's been since the last time I podcasted. The last time that I did this, right, with you guys, was the last time that I was, it's been that long that I've started. It's been 2 years probably that I've been working on that sweater. God, I need to get it done so I can wear it. Anyway, so I pulled up a cardigan and a pullover cabled because that's what I like to do next. And I just said, what did I just say? I just said that I hated those twisted stitches. I don't know. I love the look of cabled sweaters, and I would like to wear one that I have knit, but we'll see. Maybe I can make myself do it. Maybe I can't. I love that white stone cardigan that I have. I haven't worn that for you guys yet. It's old. It's not old. I mean, it's 5 years old maybe, but it was in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, so it started pilling within like a month of starting to wear it. I wear it all the time. It's filled up and kind of gross looking, but it's nice and warm. So anyway, I completed that one, and it has cabling at the top too. Not cabling, it has twisted stitches too at the top. Okay, I'm gonna grab the yarn for the cable sweater. Ooh. Okay, sorry. All right, so I moved a little bit so you can see the dog instead of the cat. This is Holiday. He's a little boy. He's got a upset stomach today, so he's not very perky. I was there in that chair a minute ago with the cat. So here we go. This sweater that I want to do is called the Cory Sweater. Like I said, it's a very modern cable on it. It is not like a fisherman's sweater, like a Gansey. It's different. I like it. I like the big swirl cable. We'll see though how annoying that gets. I struggle with cables, but I love the way they look. I struggle with, so if we have this, like I'll knit to here or something, and then I'll put my work down. And when I pick it back up again, I struggle with counting. I'm like, where do I start? I struggle with, do I start at the twist and identifying where the actual twist was and then counting the rows? So often when I knit cables, my cables end up being a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller than the rest of them. And then this is the yarn that I dyed to knit it in. I dyed up 2 different yarns, one red, one blue, and let my family decide, and it was pretty much a unanimous decision. Mommy looks better in blue, so that's fine. I was just trying to be different there. I was like, I don't have much in red. Let me do something. No, it's just not me, right? I mean, I'm a cool color person, so so I dyed up this blue. I'm gonna dye it. It's just Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Naked. So I just am gonna, or Bear. I'm sorry, it's not called Naked. It's called Bear. And so I dyed this up. I'm gonna use this for that Cory sweater. Yeah, I like it. This is just the tie. It's not really, it's just the, I throw a cotton tie on there so it's separate. So that's my next plan. For acquisitions, I got some yarn from Sticks in Bozeman, Montana, delivered. I've been to Bozeman before, loved it. It's a wonderful little town in the mountains in Montana. So I ordered, I follow Ranching Tradition Fiber on Instagram and on Facebook, which is an interesting, she shears, dyes, spins, lots of interaction with the fiber. So this is her Tobacco Root Valley yarn. Here's a picture of her sheep. I don't think you can see it. And it's Targhee and Rambouillet. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Rambouillet? Montana raised and processed. I like that, how it's raised, dyed, spun in Montana, all of those things. And there's her little Ranching Tradition Fiber, her little focus, her little stamp there. Anyway, so this is called Fir. It's hard to see. Fir, like the tree, F-I-R. And it's very much what a fir tree would be like. Obviously, this is one of my favorite colors as well. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I've never had Targhee or knit with it, so I don't know. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's spun tighter than most things that I knit with. A little more grippy. We'll see. I don't know what I'll do with just a single skein of this. We'll see. Maybe a hat. And then I want to do this. What the heck is that pattern called? I got 2 skeins of Sunday from Sandnes Garn, also from Sticks in Bozeman, and it's for a hat. What's Decision Fatigue is the name of the hat. Decision Fatigue. Anyway, it's a hat, a double-sided hat, your reversible hat. So you do one color and then you connect at the brim and you start the other color so that you could, and then you put them inside of each other, right? So you can flip it inside out if you wanted to and make this silver the outside, or I could make this light purple the outside. And it's just basically stockinette stitch, the whole thing. So I'm looking forward to that. And the reason why I picked that is because I have decision fatigue. Like, I'm tired of thinking about what I'm gonna knit next. Those socks and that hat, just being plain stockinette, is sort of enjoyable right now. My brain is like, oh, I needed that. Okay, so I'll leave off there. Maybe I'll take you on a little tour of our Christmas lights, since it is Vlogmas, and that's all.